Chosen one. What is about to happen in your life is not random. It is not a coincidence that you are here, in this exact moment, hearing these exact words. Something drew you here, and that something is not small. Heaven has been watching your story, every quiet struggle, every night when sleep would not come, every time you showed up anyway, even when everything inside you felt worn. This is not an ordinary message. This is a divine announcement, a sacred and deliberate alignment, set in motion by the Creator of all things. You are not here by accident. You are here by appointment. Chosen one, you stand at the edge of a breakthrough. A supernatural transfer is in motion, and it is about to change the course of your life. The heavens have decided that now is your time, not because of your effort or your strength, but because you are finally ready to step into the provision God has been preparing for you. The doors that once seemed closed are now opening. The favor of heaven is about to flood into your life in ways you never imagined. This is the beginning of your divine elevation and your supernatural wealth transfer. Heaven is declaring that your waiting has ended. The blessing, the shift, and the release are here. Chosen one. Every tear you carried in silence has been counted. Every night your mind raced with anxious questions has not been ignored. There were moments you kept showing up with a tight chest and a tired smile, while your heart whispered, "How long will this last?" Heaven saw the hidden places, the private strain, the weight you did not explain to anyone. Not one moment was wasted. Not one prayer disappeared into the air. It has all been moving you toward a turning point, not because you forced it, but because God has been forming you. Anointed one, hear this with your spirit. The season where you had to push past your limits just to stay afloat is breaking. Heaven is calling you out of striving. You were never meant to live as if survival was your assignment. As it is written in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Stillness means you stop arguing with fear. You stop negotiating with panic. You stop letting urgency make decisions for you. Chosen one, I need you to recognize what has been happening under the surface. The delays, the closed doors, the missed chances that felt like rejection, many of them were protection. Some rooms you begged to enter would have drained your peace. Some opportunities you thought you lost would have stolen your focus. You were not being punished, you were being positioned. As it is written in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. There is a kind of alignment that only comes after disappointment. Disappointment exposes what you were clinging to. And when what you cling to breaks, your hands finally open to receive what God actually intended. Anointed one. This word is not only encouragement, it is impartation. Heaven is touching the inner structure of you, the part trained to brace, to overthink, to calculate worst-case scenarios. You have been living with the habit of scanning for danger. It shows up when you open your banking app before you even take a full breath. It shows up when an email subject line drops your stomach before you have even read it. Chosen one. Heaven is interrupting that storm, not by making you careless, but by making you anchored. As it is written in the book of Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. God is funding your life, not as a slogan, but as a shift in source. You are being moved from the illusion of control into the reality of provision. This does not mean you stop working. It means you stop worshiping the grind. It means your identity no longer depends on how hard you can push through exhaustion. You are being carried by grace, not grind. Grace teaches you to move from peace, to plan from clarity, to build from trust. Anointed one. Let the word recalibrate you. As it is written in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verse 19, "My God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory, in Christ Jesus." Worry has never been your provider. Fear has never been your source. Anxiety has never been your strategy. They were only loud, and loud does not mean true. And as it is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Chosen one. There is a holy wind in your favor. You may feel it as a strange calm where you used to spiral, clarity returning after months of fog, a sense that you can finally say no without guilt, because you are no longer chasing approval to feel safe. Heaven is declaring, no more lack thinking, no more fear leading, no more striving as a lifestyle. This is your divine reset, anointed one. Divine provision often starts small enough to be dismissed. A timely refund, a bill resolved without drama, a conversation that opens a door you were not trying to force. Sometimes it is not a loud miracle. Sometimes it is a quiet sequence, the right email at the right time, an idea that arrives with peace instead of pressure. You start to notice that the path is being cleared, and you did not have to beg for it. That is a sign of heaven-backed movement. Chosen one. If your spirit is resonating, do not rush past what is happening inside you right now. As it is written in the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 20, "Where 2 or 3 gather in his name, there he is with them." What comes next is not just about money. It is about stewardship and the kind of peace that protects what God is releasing. In the next part, I am going to show you the first internal shift that proves your funding has already begun, and why it always starts there before it shows up anywhere else. Chosen one. There is a reason the anxiety has started to loosen its grip even before the circumstances have fully changed. That is not denial or distraction. That is evidence. When heaven begins to fund a life, the first place it touches is not the bank account. It is the nervous system. Peace arrives before proof. Calm precedes confirmation. This is how divine provision announces itself, quietly at first, almost easy to miss if you are still addicted to urgency. Anointed one, you have lived long enough in reaction mode. Every decision measured by what you might lose. Every plan filtered through what could go wrong. Heaven is now correcting that posture. You are being taught how to stand without bracing, to breathe without scanning, to move without rushing. That is not laziness. That is alignment. Chosen one. I want to speak to the part of you that learned to survive early, the one who became capable too soon and figured things out alone. That version kept you alive, but it is not meant to lead you into overflow. Survival skills make you hoard when you are meant to steward. They make you suspicious when you are meant to receive. Anointed one, God is not just sending resources, He is sending re-education, a new internal language where your first response is not panic, but prayer, not calculation, but trust. As it is written in the book of Romans chapter 8, verse 28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Anointed one, pay attention to what is shifting in you. You may notice you are less reactive to other people's opinions, less urgency to explain yourself. That is discernment growing. That is your life being reorganized around a higher source. Rest is becoming a discipline for you now, not a reward for finishing everything, a declaration that you trust the source. Anxiety says, "If I do not worry, nothing will move." Faith says, "Because I trust, everything aligns." In the next part, I am going to speak about the external signs that divine funding has already started moving toward you, even if you have not recognized them yet. Chosen one, heaven rarely announces provision with fireworks. More often it begins with alignment, subtle shifts, small doors opening without resistance, things working with less force than before. That is how you know this is not luck, it is order. Divine funding does not shout, it arranges. Anointed one. One of the earliest external signs that God is funding your life is timing. Things start landing at just the right moment. You receive information when you are ready to use it. You meet people when you have the maturity to discern them. Opportunities arise when you finally have the clarity to say yes or no without fear. As it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 8, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." Chosen one, look closely at your recent weeks. You may have noticed expenses resolving themselves without drama, problems that once spiraled, now closing cleanly. A delay that saved you from a wrong commitment. These are not random events, they are indicators that your life is being managed by something higher than your own vigilance. Anointed one. Divine funding also reveals itself through pruning. Some connections will fade, some invitations will stop coming. This is not loss, this is protection. God does not pour new wine into old containers. When something leaves, ask whether it was built for survival or for stewardship. Chosen one. Not everyone who benefited from your struggle is meant to benefit from your overflow. As provision increases, boundaries must mature. This is not selfishness. This is wisdom. Anointed one. Another sign of divine funding is that ideas begin to arrive with peace attached, not frantic inspiration, not pressured urgency, but clear, steady insight. You start seeing solutions instead of problems, pathways instead of walls. This is how heaven invests. It sends strategy before supply, so the supply has direction. Chosen one. The wealth shift you are entering is not only financial, it is energetic, emotional, relational. You are being resourced with clarity, discernment, rest, and timing. Money follows that alignment. Healing is often quiet. Stability is often subtle. Security often feels almost boring compared to crisis. That does not make it small, it makes it sustainable. Chosen one. If this word has been bringing peace to your spirit today, if something inside you has been shifting as you listen, consider sending a super thanks. It is not an obligation. It is an offering, a way of sowing into what heaven is already using to reach you and reach others who needed this word today just as much as you did. Chosen one. As heaven continues to fund your life, your role is not to force outcomes. It is to remain aligned. Pay attention to peace. Notice what drains you and what restores you. Honor the invitations that feel clean. Decline the ones that feel heavy. This discernment is part of your provision. In the next part, I will speak about how to remain positioned without slipping back into fear-based habits, while this provision continues to build momentum. Chosen one. There is a discipline you are being invited into now. It is not hustle or spiritual performance. It is discernment. When heaven begins funding a life, the greatest risk is not lack. It is misalignment. Provision magnifies direction. That is why this season demands clarity more than speed. Anointed one. Fear-based habits do not disappear automatically just because provision increases. They dissolve through awareness and choice. Those habits were formed in scarcity. They are not sinful. They are outdated. Chosen one. You are being asked to slow your responses, not your obedience. In this season, God gives you a pause, a breath between the offer and the answer. That pause is protection. It is where wisdom speaks. Anointed one. Remaining positioned means honoring what restores you. Notice when your chest tightens or your stomach sinks. That is not weakness. That is information. Chosen one. Let go of proving. Heaven does not fund explanations, it funds obedience. You do not owe anyone a performance to validate what God is doing in your life. Anointed one, some people will misunderstand your boundaries. Let them. You are not withdrawing, you are consolidating. A funded life is not a loud life. It is a focused one, chosen one. When fear tries to re-enter disguised as responsibility, return to what is written. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still, refuse to rehearse disaster, refuse to let imagined futures steal present peace. Choose rest without guilt. Choose clarity over urgency. Choose peace over pressure. And as you do, provision continues to meet you without force. In the next part, I will speak about how your relationship with money itself begins to change when God becomes the source, and why this inner shift is essential for what comes next. Chosen one, when God begins funding your life, your relationship with money must be healed, not idolized. Money is a tool, but it carries memory. It remembers how it was used, how it was chased, how it was feared. Many people ask for increase without addressing the emotional history they carry. Heaven does not skip that step. Anointed one. The problem was the agreement you made with money during seasons of lack. The agreement that said money decides my safety, my worth, my peace. That agreement kept you tense. Divine funding breaks that contract. As it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Not because your account is full, because your shepherd is faithful, chosen one. You are learning to see money as a servant, not a verdict on your value. When this shift happens, money loses its emotional charge. You begin to ask quieter questions. Does this align? Does this create peace or pressure? These questions are signs of maturity, not restriction. Anointed one. Giving becomes intentional and joyful in this season. Not from guilt or urgency, but because it aligns. You are not meant to rescue people at the cost of your own stability. God does not fund burnout. He funds stewardship, and provision increases when you stop leaking energy into places that cannot hold it. Anointed one. If this word has been walking with you, if you feel a sense of family in what is being built here, I want to invite you to stay connected. Here at Chosen Pathfinders, we are walking together towards something real, and right now, we are growing toward 20,000 people who are choosing alignment over anxiety, peace over pressure, and trust over striving. If that is you, if this is the community where your spirit feels at home, subscribe and carry this with you into everything that comes next. Chosen one, as heaven continues to fund your life, you will notice a deeper shift that goes beyond circumstances. Your inner authority is being restored. You are no longer asking permission to trust yourself, no longer second-guessing every decision as if one mistake could undo everything. What God establishes now is not easily shaken. Anointed one, a quiet confidence is beginning to rise in you. Not arrogance, confidence, rooted in knowing you are supported. You start making decisions from center instead of from panic. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never meant to understand your assignment. That is not carelessness. That is being anchored. Chosen one, divine funding produces authority before visibility. When you speak, it carries weight. People will start responding to your presence differently. Not because you demanded respect, but because peace commands attention. Anointed one, leadership begins to emerge naturally here, the kind that stabilizes rooms. People come to you for clarity, not drama. Chosen one, authority grows where responsibility is carried without anxiety. Heaven does not fund panic, it funds stewardship. And you are becoming a steward who can be trusted with more. Anointed one. In the next part, I am going to speak about how your environment will begin responding to this shift, and why some things will naturally fall away as others come into alignment. Chosen one, when divine funding settles into a life, the environment adjusts, not all at once, and not always comfortably. Some things will feel out of place. Old habits and rhythms that once felt normal may now feel heavy. This is not loss, this is refinement. Anointed one, you are outgrowing patterns built for survival, not stewardship, late nights driven by anxiety, conversations centered on fear and comparison. These things cannot coexist with sustained provision. They drain clarity. Chosen one, do not grieve what no longer fits. Thank it for getting you through, and release it with grace. As it is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 8, the Lord will send a blessing on your barns and on everything you put your hand to. The Lord your God will bless you in the land he is giving you. That blessing flows into ordered spaces and prepared hearts. Anointed one, some relationships will shift. Sometimes it means new boundaries, new levels of honesty. When your life is no longer fueled by lack, you can no longer bond over fear. Let wisdom guide you, not guilt. Chosen one, you will feel drawn to simplify, to clear, to create room. This is preparation. God does not pour overflow into chaos. He pours into order, peace, and readiness. Chosen one, in the next part, I will speak about the posture that keeps this flow steady over time, so that what begins now does not fade, but becomes your new normal. Chosen one, the final posture of a divinely funded life is trust expressed through consistency, not emotional highs, not constant declarations, but steady alignment. You do not need to keep proving your faith. You live it quietly, daily, through choices that reflect trust. Anointed one, consistency looks like showing up without forcing outcomes, planning without panic, giving without depletion, resting without guilt. This is the rhythm that sustains provision long-term. Chosen one, heaven is not asking you to be perfect. It is asking you to be present, to listen when something feels off, to adjust when peace leaves, to pause before reacting. These small acts of awareness protect what God is building. Anointed one, divine funding is not a moment. It is a way of living, a steady partnership where you respond, adjust, and trust. Fear may still knock occasionally, but it no longer lives here. Anxiety may whisper, but it no longer leads. Chosen one, you are stepping into a life where provision meets purpose without struggle, where clarity replaces urgency, where peace guards what is being released. This is not hype, this is alignment. Anointed one, stay here, grounded, open, aware. What has begun will continue, because it is not sustained by your effort, but by the source that called you into it. Chosen one, as this word comes to rest within you, know that heaven has already moved. What you felt was not emotion, it was confirmation. A supernatural transfer is already in motion, and you are standing in your exact appointed moment, where provision meets purpose and peace overtakes worry. You did not arrive here by chance. You were drawn by alignment, carried by grace, and covered by divine intent. Anointed one, lift your heart in gratitude for what is unfolding. Stay faithful to the quiet instructions. Look ahead with expectancy, not strain. The blessing is active. The covering is secure. The path before you is ordered. Chosen one, if your spirit bears witness to this moment, leave a word of agreement below. Share this with someone who needs steadiness right now. Let it be an offering rather than an obligation. Go in peace, anointed one. Walk forward with gratitude. You are covered, you are provided for, and what has begun will be completed.